They want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, who is... Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel.
City boy! City boy!
All right, man, we back. It's so crazy. This is just crazy. So long story short, there is a clip and you can go see it. I don't know if it's going to be on here. I picked this specifically because Brandon Tatum, and I rock with Brandon Tatum at some capacity, some of his viewpoints, not everything, but some of his viewpoints. But I just know he is one person who is going to back Donald Trump up at all costs. Hold on, there's my dog. Hey, get over here. Get over here. Stay on this side. My dog's gonna knock down my camera. Anyways, so he's gonna back Donald Trump no matter what. But the title of this video, his thumbnail said, "I can't even support this," which I thought that was crazy. And you're seeing this, I wouldn't say a fracturing, but somewhat of a fracturing. Really, it's just because of, if I'm just can be totally candid and honest, even with the hardcore Trump supporters, Trump's hot-headedness. If you're a fan of Donald Trump or, whatever, he's a hothead. And in sports and certain aspects, being a hothead can be good, right? Like it can help you get past the finish line, take more wins than other people. There are pros and cons to everything. But his hot-headedness on this one is wild because it goes deeper, I think, than what people... I don't know, man. The left will always criticize Donald Trump and say, this is a grift. This is a grift, da-da-da-da. And what he said yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, it almost gives that implication. Like the hardcore base, I'd say 60 to 70% of your base, MAGA, Make America Great Again, is all very freaked out about the Epstein stuff, right? And you just called those people stupid and weaklings, and that they're spreading a farce, a hoax, when it's provable that it's not a hoax. Like there's aspects of it that are not provable, right? Because that's why people want lists and files. They just want to know the truth. So that's debatable. But the things Ghislaine and Jeffrey were in jail for, this is why they were in jail. So it's like, how are you going to say this is a hoax when you have legitimate proof of, it not being a hoax? So calling, I would say 60 to 70% of your base weaklings and stupid people is very foolish. And then telling them what they know for a fact is a hoax is pretty wild. But anyways, let's hear someone who is extremely supportive of the organization speak on this. And again, this is coming from, you guys, I'm not a Trump hater. I'm like literally very middle ground. I'm just being honest. I still, to this day, and people always get mad in the comments, but I still, to this day, think he is absolutely a better president than Biden ever was and that Kamala could have been. That's just my honest thinking. And sometimes people argue and be like, I do think with them, it's a slow burn, so it's not as recognizable. But I think the outcomes would even be worse. But I don't know. Again, I'm honest, and I'll get on here and be like, I can be wrong. I'm not here saying this is gospel. That's just what I honestly think. But let's just hear some of this. I ain't going to dive too crazy into like any conspiratorial stuff here. I just think this was the wildest thing. And this, again, I said it in my last video, Donald Trump not being able to read the room, meaning he can't read the room with his audience, his base that he brought together and kind of, So anyways, here we go.
Said they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, who is consulting with Donald Trump? Is there anybody, maybe he don't listen to people. Maybe he like stubborn as a mud and he not gonna listen to nobody. But it's like Donald Trump, bruh. Like there's a balance here. So I don't know if Donald Trump is presiding under a rock, but like you have to be in tune with what people are thinking and saying in your own administration. in for a minute. Come talk to me. Holler at me, big dog. What are you doing? That's all I'm saying right now. And let me preface this because some people will get mad at me and say, Brandon Taylor, you turned to a rhino. You don't support Trump no more. No, I support Trump. He's still my president. He's still doing a lot of great things. But let's talk about this Epstein thing real quick. I wanted to let it go. I wanted to stop talking about it. I thought we were done with this. I thought that Donald Trump was going to correct the script and he was going to come out and do what he need to do in order to, make people who have been dealing with this issue feel a little more confident and comfortable because he is the commander in chief that oversees all of these things.
This is what's crazy. The core base of MAGA, you guys, all of the MAGA influencers are really a big part of not letting this go. And I think kudos to them. I'm actually like surprised. I thought they were going to bend the knee. That's where I actually gained more respect for the MAGA base, because this is what's misinterpreted. I'm going to try to break this down. I'm freestyling off the cuff. I don't have a teleprompter. Just go off the mind. This is where MAGA gets misunderstood. Make America great again. It is a group of people, a populist movement that really just wants America to do better and be great as it once was, economically, in a lot of different areas. These people do not hate migrants. They are not racist. They're not, and of course, maybe they're sprinkled in there, just like they're sprinkled in the Democratic Party. They're sprinkled everywhere. There's always going to be bad apples. So let's get that context out. But essentially, it's been people who've been fed this idea of we can make this happen, right? So when you have this base of people that have been like bred to think that Donald Trump is 100% anti-establishment, going to drain the swamp, blah, 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 and you have these influencers that are like, okay, I don't know the positioning back in the day, but I think there was like a king, right? King and a queen. But then there's like lords, and lords have land. They have more access than the average person, right? Well, the lords could be considered part of Congress, Senate, but also influencers, because influencers make a lot of money. I mean, influence and attention is everything nowadays. So you can say they're the lords. And what's happening in this situation is all of the politicians, the Congress, the Senate, whatever, who's rocking with Trump is going along with Trump's narrative at first. But the influencers, I thought they were just going to bend the knee. And I show them more respect and more respect to the base, because in the sense, the base is like, nah, this isn't what we want. So this is the thing that's very problematic. Everyone thinks what Trump does is exactly what the base wants. Big mistake there. The base didn't want Project Warp Speed, which, the left actually did. So that's kind of ironic, right? The base doesn't want any wars. They want total peace, And I think a lot of people in general get on that train. The base wants a better economy. Now, how we get to the better economy, people argue about that all the time. But the base really wants just simple things. Even with the migration thing, I've been thinking about this in depth. No one hates migrants. No one necessarily wants them out of here. What they want is the government to control the resources and prioritize American citizens over the migrant situation. That's really what it comes down to. The obvious, get criminals and blah, blah, blah out of here. So I just think there's a misrepresentation now because Trump isn't representing his base fully. Like he said he would. There's a very famous quote where he said, they're not trying to get me. They're trying to get you. I'm just standing in the way. Well, now it has flipped. Okay. The people are trying to get at the establishment, and now he's standing in the way. And that's just the way it flipped. That's how it looks right now with the way some of this stuff. Now, in my opinion, he is taking some W's, though. Like people, you got to take the good with the bad. He is out here collecting some wins. So we're going to see how it all plays out. But I think it's important to hear from his base specifically, like Brandon, Benny, like these dudes are like Hugh, Charlie Kirk, Brandon, Benny Johnson, Candace was even a part of his base. She's kind of went off into her own little realm, but Brandon is a part of his base. So just wanted to hear what he had to say.
But yet Donald Trump comes out today and throw out something on Truth Social that even his biggest supporter, Brandon Tatum, is like, Trump, what are you doing, bruh? Now, that's the biggest and most crazy thing I think that I was expecting to happen today is the way the media is covering this. I always say this when the stories are crazy, I want to see how the media is covering it. And as you could imagine, the media is covering it congruently on both sides. If you look at the left here, you can see they call them weaklings. They're blasting the fact that Donald Trump is lashing out at his base. You can see that from the left. And then when you move over to the right is doing the same thing. The top article here from 9 News says Trump lashes out, calling his supporters weaklings. Donald Trump lashes out at own supporters. GB News reports. And the Gateway Pundit says the same thing. Trump is asked about the Epstein files, say it's a hoax, stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans.
I'm going to fast forward through this because you can tell this is an ad for those apps that show you the middle ground of news. But there's something important here to see. Think about the MAGA base and think about the people who are staunch, hardcore Trumpers, not Republicans, not rhinos, but the MAGA base. All the people who have been to jail because of, their J6 stuff. There was a man in Denver who got in an argument with a leftist security guard, and the leftist security guard shot him and took him out in front of his son. This happened in Denver around, I forget, it was like the 2020 era. It was really unfortunate, but just think about all the people who've gotten doxxed, who've gotten ostracized from society, who've got banned from YouTube, like for believing in Trump, saying Trump's name, wearing MAGA hats, getting attacked for wearing their red hat, blah, blah, blah. Think about this hardcore base who would never turn their back on Donald Trump. And he calls them weaklings, stupid, and what they believe in is a hoax. Even with the Project Warp Speed, he, at the podium when everyone's booing, he's like, all right, you guys don't like it, but I still think it's good. He still kind of changed his direction. But with this, he's going full force. And you just got to think, like, in the climate of our country, people get backlash for publicly talking about their hardcore, if they're like hardcore political. I'm not really like super political. I just talk about it because I pay taxes. I feel like I'm pretty middle ground. I just say what I think, but I'm not out here like I'm not going to die on a ledge for Trump or the opposite. I just have conversations. Some of you guys are cool with it. Some of you guys unsubscribe. It just is what it is. I'm still going to speak my mind. But that is important to highlight because being a part of MAGA is not like, it's still like until Trump won again, that's when it kind of became like you saw the culture shift, the UFC stuff. You're like, okay, culture shifting a little bit, but a lot of people have taken a lot of flack, lost endorsements, getting kicked off social media platforms, just a bunch of different stuff so think about that. And then the guy you gave up all of that for, because his name brings this polarization to you. People stopped talking to their family members, broke up relationships because of Donald Trump. And he just calls, because I'm telling you, 60 or 70% of his base is on this wave, you guys. Anyways.
So make sure you guys subscribe through my link at ground.news/Tatum or download the mobile app and use offer code Tatum.
Come on, let's get into this. Whoops, I pushed the wrong thing. Do I need to go?
For 40% off the unlimited is a mud, and he not going to listen to nobody. But it's like Donald Trump, bruh. Like, there's a balance here. I understand the compulsion when you feel like people that you don't, like, for instance, I did video about Uvalde. All right, people were mad at me and Uvalde. Just more recently, I did another video that was super controversial about Tucker Carlson, I think, because Tucker Carlson irritates me. And people were a little bit upset with me about Tucker Carlson, okay? I understand the compulsion to say when people get mad at you and you're like, I'm right, and most people are wrong on this, that it makes you feel like you want to lash out. But when you're the president of the United States of America and you feel like people...
But he's not right on this, I don't think. People aren't asking... Like, there's all these conspiracy theories. It's this, it's that, is the other. People don't know. They don't know if it's Prince Andrew. They don't know if it's this, that, or the other. That's all they want is transparency. They want to know. You gave them nothing. Not even a fake list. That's what's crazy. In today's day and age, it's just crazy. And it implies a lot of different things. And this is the thing. When you run on something like drain the swamp, it just, it puts a sour taste in people's mouth. That's just the truth.
You're upset with people being wrong about it, you have to then bring yourself back to reality and say, I do owe them an explanation for this. It ticks me off to think that people are being silly. I'm saying if I was Trump, but at the same time.
But Trump pushed it. Trump pushed the hoax. You can go through all of the clips. There's compilations of Trump calling out Bill Clinton, him calling out Epstein. Oh, he likes him young. All these different, the island. So even if he was just joking or being condescending, he pushed the hoax. He's a part of it. So saying, they're pushing the hoax and calling you dumb and stupid for believing it when he played a part in pushing the hoax is crazy to me.
I'm gonna have to understand why people feel this way. If this was Democrats that had come out and was talking about Epstein and the Epstein files and was accusatory against Trump, saying that he was in the Epstein files, and there was nobody in the Trump administration was talking about this, it would make sense for Donald Trump to come out and say the things that he said. It will make perfect sense. I will be in lockstep. I'll be writing op-eds and everything in support. But Trump, everybody in your administration was telling us that there is a list. They were telling us that they're going to be prosecuting people and that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. I mean, every prominent person that knows Trump was telling us this. Trump is probably the only.
If you start looking through the clips, I don't know who the dude is. This, I think it's the Speaker of the House. I think his name's like Mike Johnson or something. I just saw a clip like right before I did this video where it's like, I think we should release the list. Like, it's just things have hit the wall. I'm not going to go too crazy on this right now. And look, I don't know what I'm going to talk about on this channel. This intrigued me today. That's why I'm talking about it. But what I will say is this. It's so messy right now and so much stuff happens in real time. I could release this and there could be a extreme change and this be like some old bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But I do think when I record these, it's like a time capsule. I like to go back and look at how I thought of things a year, 2 years ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, and see how I adjust. So take everything with a grain of salt. This is definitely my unadulterated thoughts. And this is probably one of DT's biggest fumbles. I mean, there's other things, but look, I just think it's ironic the way this has gone down. It implicates a lot more because this is how it went down. There's a huge percentage of the MAGA base that wants to tie the Democratic Party to the Epstein files. This is just the truth. This is the truth that people won't talk about. They want to implicate all these Democratic leaders and that, the Democrats are this, this child thing going on, right? And in reality, it looks like there's probably implications within the right. There's probably implications elsewhere with royal families, etc. These are things that are possible. This is what they're saying. And, people want accountability, It's just really unique, too, when you look at this. When as I start talking and thinking about what this does imply, if it's real. I always just thought, from everything I saw, I was like, Epstein literally got convicted because Ghislaine is in jail. Like, why are we saying it's a hoax? It's a farce. I guess they're saying the depth of it is a hoax. It's a farce. But no one has proved that there's no depth to it. So that's just the truth. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. But you guys, let me know. I'd love to hear what y'all think in the comments because this is stirring up everybody. Everyone's talking about this right now. I mean, you go from Andrew Schultz's podcast to Joe Rogan, every single person. And you know who got on this late? Mainstream media. Mainstream media was not covering this like that. They really weren't. Fox started covering it. The left is just they're like, this could help destroy Trump a little bit more. Let's jump on it. But they weren't talking about the files or the list. They weren't. They really weren't. Go back and look. They weren't. They're just getting on it now. So you also got to look at, I don't know. There's always things going on in the world. But y'all have to let me know what's popping. That's my take, man.
City boy,